Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Inside Lowell. This is the Can I Be Frank program here. Proud to be back. It has been a while since I've been on here, and I wanted to say thank you because this is actually my 1 year anniversary program. Technically yesterday, but 1 year I've been doing this. Thank you, folks. Yes, my lovely guests. And what's interesting about tonight's show is the folks that are on tonight were my very first show here a year ago. And we're representing the same cause, so it seemed fitting to have them back. We're recording this on Thursday, January 18th, and this show should be live hopefully tomorrow morning, the 19th, Friday the 19th. Again, very proud. I love to celebrate great stories and local success stories, and there's no better group that I'm going to introduce you to in a few moments. But last year, this time, we were talking about an event called the Polar Plunge, the Keefe family Polar Plunge specifically, whereby 500 Llewellians and beyond jump into the frigid waters of the Atlantic Ocean for the cause, a good cause, whatever it may be. Last year was the McMahon family. Most of you probably watching, listening know them. It was a very deserved cause. I think we must have had 500 or 600, right? Maybe.
It's hard to say, Frank, but there was a great crowd.
Giant number. So we're hoping for the same this year. I'm going to let each of these folks give their perspectives on the plunge. It's the 16th annual, and once again, a very deserving family and cause. And you're going to get some great insights to what this amazing family, the Logans, are going through right now. So I won't waste any more time. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I'm going to introduce you to my cast of characters here. There they are. Luckily, Mr. Cremin's out of the picture, so best I can do. We usually don't have 4 guests here, so but in any case, why don't we just go around the horn? Sean, why don't you scooch a little?
I can scoot.
Scoot a little. These folks are responsible for this Polar Plunge. Ray Keefe in the center in the blue sweatshirt. I'm going to let him start and explain the backdrop of the plunge, how it began, how it started, who it's benefited over these years. And this is also what I've coined the father-daughter show. Both of these men's young ladies, and they're active volunteers, active educators, and it's fantastic to have them, and it's very cool that they're all here together tonight. I think that's my shtick. So I'm gonna turn it over and let Ray give a little perspective on what we're all here for.
Well, thank you very much, Frank. We're so happy that you're allowing us to do this, and Sean got us involved last year with you, and it's awesome because to be able to get on the airway and the podcast and be able to tell people what we're trying to do and really explain situations that families or different people have been involved with tragic incidents over the years. And this year we're doing it for the Logan family, and this will be our 16th. And this little girl right here has been with me for all 15 so far. So that's why I wanted her to be here tonight.
Yeah, that's amazing. That really is. That's awesome.
So it started 15 years ago. A young man by the name of Mark Frateroli lost his life in a car accident in Groton, Massachusetts. And he went to Lawrence Academy, and my son was at Groton School. So I thought it would be a good way to connect the two schools. And we had a huge crowd at the beach that day. There were 3 of us. And it was my son, Miles, who was too little to go in, and Maddie, who on the way down to the beach said, I want to go. So we actually had to pull off in Haverhill, Mass to get her a bathing suit. And luckily there was someone that had one on the rack, barely fit. And so that's how it all started. And we raised some money for the Mark Frateroli Scholarship Fund. And for the first 8 years, it was called the Mark Frateroli Memorial Polar Plunge. And then we kind of stopped that at the end of 8 years when the Frateroli said, you've done enough. Let's let you turn it over to your family or something. And so we just named it the Keefe Family Polar Plunge. And so here we are. And there's been a lot of very worthy benefactors. And they're still involved with us. And so we're able to still contribute to some of the needs that they have. You know, you're talking about paralyzed folks. You're
Yeah.
talking about a young lady that lost her leg. And
Yep. Yep.
Emotional. He does amazing work. I understand that. Back in time, he starts to talk about family, people, and said he's seen it. Really amazing.
It is.
Proud. He asked me to.
And you know,
Proud to be.
what I don't want to remiss later in our conversation is thanking all the other wonderful folks involved in this. You know, and there's a list here, and you know, very familiar, very you know, I remember Ray last year when you spoke, how thankful you are about just, you know, what a wonderful community we live in, Lowell. We really do.
Yeah.
And just the kindness that goes out constantly for a cause, because there's always something, right? There's always some family, some individual that's in need, and I do feel like we rise like no other. I'm very biased, right,
Yeah.
Katie? And I know you all are too, but it's amazing work and it's great. Let me take the pressure off Ray for a second. Young lady,
Yes, hello.
just, you know what, no pressure. Just, you know, give us your perspective. You've been doing this with Dad for years, the whole time. You know, it's a big anniversary too. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you love about this? What do you tell me how you?
I mean, I've always been passionate about whatever my dad is passionate about. I've always looked
great
up
answer.
to him. No, honestly, it's true.
You should.
We were driving down that day, and I remember just being like, "Oh, I'm gonna regret it if I don't jump in with Dad." So
Mm,
we decided to do it together, and I've been doing it with him here since.
fantastic.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'd like to speak. I'm going to give the floor to Katie for a second. The lovely Katie Cremin, who works at Lowell High School, and I work with Katie there, and I know Nick a little bit, and I know the program they're involved in, which, by the way, is a whole other podcast about the trials and tribulations that they go through every day with these kids. However, with that said, like, could you speak a little bit about the Logans and what's going on with them?
Yeah, so I work with Nick. I've worked with him for the past couple of years. And our team that we work with is very close, so it's like a family there as well. And this past year, he had a tragedy in the family, and he took in his sister-in-law kids. Him and his wife did. Him and his wife have been together since high school, so they're all about family first, and they just prove that every single day. So yeah, I get to see what Nick's about firsthand, and I get to see them at the wrestling meets, the kids at the wrestling meets, them all together, and it's heartwarming. So wanted to
So,
get them involved somehow.
you know, just to give some context to everyone listening here. So, Nick and his wife, Lindsay,
Mhm.
have 3 children of their own, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Right. And young kids, right? So 11, the oldest, I believe, 11, 9, and 6, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, just a great family. He's also the head wrestling coach
Yep.
at-
He is,
at
and he
Lowell High
does
School.
Doughboys as well.
and he
yeah.
does Doughboys. Yeah. I mean, this is as Lowell as it gets
Yeah,
in the
right.
wrestling world, right? You know, George Bossy was supposed to be here, but
Yeah.
he was fighting a door
Sure,
today.
Yeah.
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 I'm sure
Um,
at the beach.
Yeah.
And so having, you know, 3 young children of their own, they both work full time. I believe his
they
wife
both work
Lindsay, who I
full-time.
don't know, but I know she's a nurse at Lowell General.
Yeah.
And then they took on her sister's 4 children, which I
Correct, yeah.
believe range from, I'm sorry to read this, I just don't know the family. 18, 12, 9, and 5.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're
And
all
on-
together.
And the day of the plunge, the youngest, it's his birthday. So that'll be good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll have to sing happy birthday.
Yes, we will.
You got another song?
Yeah. Yeah.
We can all join in.
Yeah.
That one we can help you with.
Yeah. So that'll be
Um,
great.
No, that's good. I'm glad you mentioned
And so
it, Katie.
this family has, you know, they've essentially taken in, they have 7 children now,
Yeah.
just like that, in an instant. And I can't imagine what that's like. So I can't speak enough about that. Sean, what's your perspective on this year's event anyway?
This year's event is, I think we changed gears a little bit, and I was very excited about it because I don't want to say maybe a month before we discussed this family, Katie had mentioned Logan's about some fundraising she was doing through the school and some raffle baskets and things like that, and cards. And I remembered it, and then I kind of forgot about it. And then Billy Finn had reached out to me, and he had mentioned them, and I said, "Oh my goodness, that's a great idea." My daughter Katie had talked about them, so it was. It was something that I was like, this sounds, again, like the little high school thing, the coaching thing. You're not, apparently the high school sweetheart. I mean, that
Yeah.
you can't get too much more Lowell than that.
Yeah.
I mean, so everything kind of fell into place and was kind of pointing down there. But we met as a committee, and everybody's great and gives different perspectives, and we talk and we just try to figure it out.
It was unanimous, Frank.
And,
He's beating around the bush. It was
No,
unanimous.
it's great. It
Yeah.
really was,
Yeah.
and I felt like it was more uplifting than maybe a death or a cancer
Yeah.
or a sickness or a tragedy.
Right.
I mean, there was a tragedy obviously involved
Of course.
with the passing. I don't disrespectful. I just mean that the fact that they take on the family.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
It just felt like positive, great
yeah.
energy.
It was more community driven.
Yeah, and it
Yep.
seemed like, and like Grace said, we were all just kind of said, "That's it." Let's speak.
Yeah.
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 That, so.
Like I said, I know Nick a little bit. I know Katie knows him far better. But how could you ever slight a family that does that?
Yeah.
And you know what? In an instant, as I said earlier,
Yeah.
it's just like that, and you inherit. But
Right.
I feel like that's what people do when you have to, right? When in a tough situation. So it's amazing. Ray, could give some. I'm going to repeat this over and over, but give some details on the actual plunge dates, times. Give us some of the
So
logistics.
first of all the information can be found on www.keefamilypolarplunge.org.
Mhm.
And it's a website that was designed by Vicki McMahon, who is new to the committee, and she and Eddie Sr. have been instrumental. Just awesome. That website is so informative. It has everything on it. But we could still use some shirt sponsors. We could use more sponsors for the website where
Okay.
your company is listed. Vicky's done a great job with it. And so that's really how you can find out how to do everything. It will be on March 9th at
Mhm.
noon at the intersection of Hooksett and Ocean, right? And
Seabrook,
Mhm.
Main Beach.
yeah, it's a great spot. And Meg
Yeah.
and Pat Coughlin have
Yes.
been opening up their home for years now,
Mhm.
and it's just the perfect setup.
Yeah, it really
It's a very good setup. And you know what? Last year, I remember with the McMahon event, it was so smooth. Just quick shot
Right.
to the beach, got it done.
Yeah,
Well,
There was like a traffic jam just to go to the beach. 'Cause
we
of
need
how many
divine
people-
intervention to have the
Yeah.
same weather that we've had
Weather
for the
was
last
perfect.
2 or
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Cold and
because-
sunny. I can do with that.
Yeah.
Cold and sunny,
Yeah.
because people will come and
course.
view it and watch. And so we've been very fortunate with the weather, and we're just hoping that it happens again. If it's not, it
Hey,
doesn't.
you're jumping in 40-degree water. So, you know what? If it's raining, does it really matter?
It doesn't to us. But
Yeah.
We just want people to come,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
really, it's
Last
like a
year-
reunion, right, Sean? It really is.
Last year was the week before was a snowstorm.
Right,
Terrible. And the following week.
right.
And we watch the tides, Frank. We have lifeguards.
Yep.
we
Oh,
have
yeah.
Emergency personnel. so
It really
we're
energized you throughout the day too, jumping in. Like you're just gonna,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, it
It's
makes
like
you
the
feel
And
whole
last year, I don't know who
like-
did it, but it was fantastic. I know they ran a drone over the.
yeah.
Let's get some fantastic footage of it. It's great.
Yeah.
And I mean, I jump in because I feel like if you're gonna go, you got to
You
jump.
got to do it.
Yeah.
But I've been there for literally 0.3 seconds. But that doesn't matter as long as you do it. But
Yeah, exactly.
it's
You know,
cleansing.
there's no pressure. If you
Right,
want to
Sean?
go in, you go in. If you want to
Baptism
just
by
come to
water.
watch,
There you go.
if you just want to come and be a
Yeah.
bystander, that's
Yeah.
fine. Just enjoy the whole thing. It's
Right.
really a tremendous. So many people have come for the first time and said, "Geez, I saw Leo, I saw
Yeah,
Charlie, I
yeah.
saw Mike, I
Yeah.
saw Billy." It's awesome,
It's
really.
You almost don't have enough time. Like
No, you don't have time to
No.
talk
to
to
the
people.
beach, and you
Yeah.
see all these people say hello to, and
Yeah.
people
Yep.
taking
Yep.
pictures. It's really kind of an amazing.
My dad promised not to wear a Speedo this year, so I'm holding you to that.
Yeah.
Putting it out there now.
2 years in a row.
Sean tends to flaunt off his
Yeah.
masculine figure.
I won't do that, Katie. I promise.
Talk about because I feel like I'm sure you guys want to give some kudos to some of the other folks involved in this.
Well, yeah, absolutely. First of all, I was thinking today that our crew is like the 27 Yankees, Frank. I mean, it's almost like
Wow.
I'm the
Wow.
bottom rung of the ladder.
That's a big
because
statement.
There's a lot of people up that ladder that are a lot brighter than me, and I thank God that I have them. Sean he joined me 4 or 5 years ago when his buddy Kevin Conley had a situation, and
Yeah.
ever since then it's been divine intervention. He's wanted to do something like this, and he's instrumental. Cookie and Billy Finn, awesome. You know, they've
Yep,
come up with
sure.
people, and Cookie has done a lot of these fundraisers before, so she's very, you know, she's focused and she tells us when
Energetic.
something's a good idea and when it's not, and we just love her input. Sandy Dubuque Grimes, who also is a
Sure,
benefactor, she's always working, and you know, this year she got her daughter's boyfriend to do the
that was
Toys for
amazing.
Tots, and he showed up with 3 huge bags that
Yeah,
I
yeah,
brought
that's great.
over.
That was
Just
amazing.
just awesome.
Yeah.
And Vicky and Eddie,
Yeah.
just they're like, you know, whatever that number was that was raised for Eddie
Yeah.
last year, we want to beat it, you know. And how can you beat that?
Yeah.
Right.
Young Eddie too. He's already donated.
Young Eddie
Yeah.
donated
He's
because
he's
he
all
just
in.
gets it.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
he's
He
the
sure
son of
does.
those two people,
Yeah.
and so that's why you know why he gets it, because a great family, and he's just a solid kid.
Yeah.
I'll lose it again talking about him, but I
That's
love
all
him.
right. I'll let you off the hook. No, it's fantastic. I guess the other thing was important touching, like, what, we have a little bit of time. It's it's only January. We have about what, 7 weeks till the plunge.
Mhm.
What's most beneficial right now, besides obviously a donation, that you guys could use? In
Well, we
terms of
could use-
donation or sponsorship, or like, how can that
I mean,
best?
sponsors are, huge because they get on the shirt, and that's a good donation, and
Sure.
and those type of donations add up quickly. Obviously,
Yep.
we had a huge influx right before Christmas, so that was awesome
Mhm.
because we gave them a lot of money, and so they were able to have a Christmas like everybody else,
Mhm.
and and it was really nice,
Yeah.
And so now, when you think about it, in this day and age where expenses are just through the roof, you can't imagine what they must be going through with seven kids, right? So
Cost of milk alone. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
no jokes aside, things like that.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, so groceries and clothing and all that stuff. It doesn't really matter how much we raise for them. It won't ever really be enough.
Mm,
So that's why we want to hit a home run here.
mhm.
So, we're hoping that people continue to pound it,
Yeah.
and we'll take as many sponsors that are out there for the various things that we have,
Sure.
whether it's a banner on the beach, the shirts, the website, whatever it is, we'll get your name out there. And if you want to be anonymous, which a lot of people are, that's fine. They just want to help, and that's a pretty cool thing too, right?
And again, not to interject, and not this is important, but if a business wants to give a little donation, it's a tax deductible donation.
There
and
is
not
the
that that's
ability to do
important, and
that.
not that people care, but it is worth noting.
Right.
Right.
So we do have a church that's been doing this with us for years. They really get nothing out of it, but they will provide a 501c3.
Mhm.
So if people do want to,
Right. Sure.
give a substantial amount and want it to be, because their accounts will say, oh, you can't do that once you get a tax. Okay, so they do that, and we have it, and that's great because
Yeah.
it does allow for people who want to write the big check that they can do it and please their accountants.
Of
And,
course. Yeah. Of course, and that's just business, but I think for the most
Right.
part,
they're doing it because they want to.
99% of
Yeah.
your
Right.
donors are doing it because they just want to help. I'm
Absolutely.
quite confident of
No
that.
doubt about it.
Frank, if we could reach out to some of your viewers and listeners, we are looking for volunteers. So
On the day of.
St. Elizabeth's
Okay.
Church is kind enough to let us use the parking lot,
Okay.
kind of like a staging area for people to park. And we had some shuttles last year. This year, we're not going to be able to pull that off. So
Mm.
if anybody's out there looking to volunteer to help, truck, a car, or SUV or something, driving some of the elderly people, or
Mhm.
somebody that might need some help getting to the beach and getting back, looking for some help there. So
No,
if you
good
can't
worth
donate,
noting,
or if
yeah.
you get a little time, or you want to help out, feel free, please.
If you
reach
want to
out.
help, we can find
Yeah,
something
we've
for
got
you.
Right.
plenty,
Yeah.
we've got plenty
Well-
of work for you. So, again, a shout out to St. Elizabeth's at Seabrook that this last couple.
Right.
on the street, so.
And, you know, I think about, you know, I have kids that recently in and out of high school, or Katie could maybe get some of those kids out, get some volunteer hours. You never know, you
Yeah,
know?
we have, actually, we're
Direct some
in the
traffic,
process
just-
of working
Right.
out
Yeah.
some more stuff. The high school kids have been involved with that too. Last year, we, some scheduling problems, but working on the ROTC.
Yeah.
Some of those kids have been great. Still, we haven't finalized that, but, trying to get some kids. Anybody that's out there, don't think that you can't help. Like Ray said, we'll find something for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, again, I want to hammer home the details, and that's Saturday, March 9th, 12 p.m. is the plunge. I highly would suggest folks get there earlier than that. Parking's not an issue, but it's a challenge. There's a lot of people, a lot of cars, so get there early. These guys have it well organized. This will be posted on our on the Inside Lowell social media, my social. I'm sure these folks who are all active will be sharing. Yeah, all the details, so don't have to memorize what we're saying tonight. So it's a really wonderful cause, and if you haven't been part of it, come join. It's fantastic. It's an event. It's fun. It's not like going to, you know, you cut your check and you go over the Elks and you have a drink and you go home. No, this is an
something
event.
really- This is something you should really.
And jump in
I
the
know it's
ocean.
cold, but
Jump in the
come up
ocean.
and
You gotta do it.
experience it because it's really,
It's a lot of
You can't-
fun,
it
and
really is
it's
amazing.
for something that's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really fun. So, you know what? I don't think we have to say much more. You guys have said it all, and I appreciate your time. And we'll
Frank,
spread
if
this
I could
word.
Give, shout out, girlfriend Diane Cristofino, who's up in Seabrook,
Mhm.
has opened her to Logan family.
Mhm.
Just to shower, dry off,
Can I come?
you know. We'll see
I
how we
have
do.
I have very thin skin.
We'll see how we do. We'll see how many zeros are on the
Thank you,
check,
Sean.
but,
That's
but,
wonderful.
but I
Thank you,
think
thank you,
Diane-
thank you,
I think
Diane.
Diane does it every year, and she's been great. What's up with me and all
She's
my-
an angel.
Diane's
and
the
my
best.
friends.
She's an angel for dealing with you, number
Yeah,
one.
like
well,
you said,
she's a-
that's
she's a
another day for another podcast.
It's a whole
But she's a
But-
pro too, Sean, because
She
of
is.
all the road races she's done.
Yeah.
She's like Cookie, Finn, and,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
she's
Sandy.
behind the
They
scenes a
they
lot,
do a
but
lot
she
of these
does-
things, and so she's really, really
and,
good at
but
what she
I
does.
thought she had reached out. I know she'd reached out to the and all, and to shower. So I
Wonderful.
say that.
Thanks, Sean. So what I'd like to do is just give everyone one last remark before we close out. So no
That would be
pressure.
mine.
Thank you, Sean. Katie, final words. What do
I
you want to
just want
say?
everyone to plunge.
Yeah,
Yeah, come
I couldn't
join us.
agree.
Come
Come
join
join
us.
us, right?
It's for a good cause. Everyone's fun. So
I would like to point out, Frank, that there will be a pub crawl that's starting at Cobblestone.
People in Lowell hate that.
Last year we did it on February 4th, which I think it was about 3 degrees. And
sounds
I
great.
remember
was
that.
it was
very fun.
packed, and we had a
Pub
ball.
crawl?
Yeah, I
It was
did, yeah.
it was awesome. And Eddie McMahon came, young Eddie came. It was really well done, and it's Dawn and Lexi Biotti
Yeah.
and Donna Sheehan, and they just do a fantastic job. I
Mm.
mean, I can't tell you how well organized that was, and they're just so good at it. They're like all these other people that like Diane and Cookie, all these people that do these things regularly. That just they're pros at it.
Yeah.
And that event, I can't tell you how much fun it was. And it was freezing cold, but nobody really knew because after the first 2 bars, you didn't realize it anyways. But they had food, they had cobblestones, did a great job. They just were so well organized. I wouldn't miss it. I don't care if it was my worst enemy that we were doing
Yeah,
the thing for. I'd be at the pub crawl for sure.
Well, you know what? You just reminded me of, if you guys remember last year, the if you recall, what's the place across the way? Is it Castaways? Overboard.
Oh yeah.
Where if you walked in, if you jumped in the ocean, you got a shot of fireball,
There you go.
and they
Oh my
cheered for
God.
you. And they cheered for you. Like,
Yeah.
are you part of this? I said, I guess so. Yeah, have a shot. So
Oh,
it's
that's
a
funny.
fun day, and I wouldn't doubt they'll be doing that the same.
Well,
again.
so the overboard will be involved. They are involved, and they will be getting, a bunch of the overflow crowd, and then
Yeah.
we'll be at Browns as well,
Oh yeah,
right afterwards. So,
Yeah.
those
There's a lot of
right. There's a lot of
spillage
places
everywhere.
there, and there's a lot of people, and right
There's
after.
no
and-
shortage of access to places from
Right.
where we are.
Right,
So.
Seabrook has a lot of drinking.
That's why people go there so
I'm
often.
unfamiliar with that, Ray.
Right,
I'm
right.
usually at the library.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
did pick up a volunteer, right? That Joe Regan was gonna play the national anthem. His trumpet was traveling
Okay.
that day, so we're trying to find somebody. This young lady stepped up, and so
Oh,
she's gonna sing. So we feel like this is a good idea because it will be almost like the starting gun.
That's
after the
fantastic.
national anthem.
Yeah.
And she's kind enough to sing, and everybody.
That's great.
So that's
That's
what
so
we were
great.
a little worried about, was trying to get everybody. Once you get on the beach, all
Right.
it takes
Everyone
is one or
wants to
two to
go
run
right
in,
in.
and then
Mhm.
everybody goes in.
Yeah.
So we're
Get everyone fired up.
trying to.
Yeah.
But thank you for that.
Of
That's gonna be,
course.
that's
So
all.
Saturday, March 9th, the plunge is at 12 o'clock. National anthem will be about 11:45,
No,
11:58.
We'll be right at 12 o'clock.
We'll be right on the
And then everyone
button,
will
and then just
charge.
go. So, you know, as Ray said, please show up, regardless if you're willing to jump into the Atlantic Ocean or not. It's fine. But
Right.
all this information we posted, hope you heard it. But the 16th annual Keefe family Polar Plunge happening on March 9th, 12 o'clock, Seabrook Beach. All this will be available to you in the next day or so. We'll stay in touch with these folks. Please follow all these guys on Facebook, Instagram. I know Katie's great and involved with social, and very deserving cause of the Logan family. So thanks all for listening. Thank you all very, very
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks for having
having
us.
us.
Frank.
And have a good night, folks, and stay tuned. Thank you.